Okay, if you're Terry Rozier, you just cannot be, you got to be in the gaps already. You cannot, your feet have to be set. If you're moving your feet inward like this, look at this, you have no chance of getting out. So now it's just rip and go right by you. Okay, so Mason Plumlee has no chance of guarding James Harden. You can see he's playing on his side. Stop. So if you're Mason Plumlee, you have to get up and you got to really play on James Harden's side. Like, you got to force him into this help right here. Okay, you're not going to be able to guard him one-on-one when your feet are not even close to level to each other. Because if James Harden comes back this way, you have to twist your whole body around. So get up like this. Yeah. If Mason Plumlee here wants to be the one in transition to take Joel Embiid, then you got to sprint back. Like, this is not sprinting back. Stop. So right now, it's this Hornets player that needs to be taking Embiid, because you got to battle for position with Embiid immediately when he crosses the three-point line. Look at Plumlee here. I mean, you're just jogging a lot, so now you're sealed. This is ridiculous. If you're Nick Richards, stop backpedaling. Get your feet set in a defensive stance regarding Joel Embiid. Look at your backpedaling. So the absurdity of you going under this screen with this much space to go over is incredible. Because look, now you're not ready to guard Joel Embiid. You're backpedaling. You gave him a ton of space. If you're Jalen McDaniels, sprint back and sprint to a body. You sprint this way. Jalen McDaniels is sprinting to absolutely no one right now. Like, so now you're not ready to guard. Again, if you're Terry Rozier here, you're playing on the 76ers player's side. I mean, look at your feet. Like, you're opening up your hip. You want him to come this way. Well, then you need to get up and make sure that he comes this way into this help, wherever it comes from. Because, if he turns the corner this way, you're not going to be able to slide your feet. You're going to have to twist your whole body around and play in the gaps. Your feet have to be set. You cannot be moving your feet inward. Look at this Hornets player moving his feet inward. Well, now you're not going to get back outward. It's just rip and go right by you. This is the issue when a lot of Hornets players here are just staring at the shot. I mean, certainly these two players should be sprinting back immediately, like right now. Like, you're just staring. So, transition defense is a problem now. I mean, as Joel Embiid turns here to face you up, Mason Plumlee has got to keep his feet set, okay? Like, look at Mason Plumlee. Like, one jab step. He didn't even go anywhere yet. You just backpedaled. You're playing off your back foot. Joel Embiid will toast you here. If you are guarding Joel Embiid as he's facing you up, you cannot gamble like this. What is Mason Plumlee doing? How are you going to slide your feet when you're trying to get a deflection? This is horrendous. Okay, so this Mason Plumlee-Joel Embiid matchup is predictably going really badly for the Hornets. All right, so Joel Embiid is posting Mason Plumlee up right here in the high post. Stop, but he's turning now. So now if you're Mason Plumlee, it's get your hand off of Embiid so you can be in a defensive stance with your feet set, ready to slide your feet. You're taking too long to transition into Embiid facing you up and defending him like such. Now it's over. What is Mason Plumlee doing here? Please, you're guarding him. Just get back. Just sprint back. That's the only thing you should be worried about. Why on earth would Mason Plumlee stop here? Like, what? Okay, this is atrocious. Tobias Harris isn't even setting a screen. He's slipping it. Why on earth would this Hornet... Like, what? This is on Jalen McDaniels. Mason Plumlee is going to have to guard Tobias Harris here. Jalen McDaniels can come over here and help, but he's got to be worried about Joel Embiid. Like, stop. We have two players now guarding Tobias Harris for no reason, and Joel Embiid is kind of important to guard. Okay, if Kelly Oubre is going to double Joel Embiid like this, and that makes sense because Mason Plumlee is getting cooked all night, then Terry Rozier's got to be up here. He's got to be way up here because he's got to rotate to James Harden. And then this player's got to be over here because he has to rotate here, and then this player would go here, and Oubre would go here. But, I mean, thinking those rotations are happening is... you get back to a body in transition. So Jalen McDaniels is obviously guarding the ball, so Plumlee obviously needs to come here. What on earth? Communicate in transition. Stop. First of all, this player should not be comfortable that he's just standing in the middle of nowhere. Okay? What probably should happen is he goes to the corner and Terry Rozier goes up and Kelly Oubre goes here. But if you want to know what not communicating in transition looks like, okay, I don't know what these half double teams are. Like Kelly Oubre is like half doubling and Mason Plumlee is half doubling. But we have now 3 people focused on James Harden. The perimeter is open for business. Total disaster. This player is going under in drop coverage, which is something you can never do. Mason Plumlee, I mean, you got to be up. You got to keep your feet set. So I would drop a little bit higher with this being James Harden. I can stunt at the ball, keep my feet set, and I can still be able to recover to Embiid. Plumlee is just backpedaling here. He's not going to get over to Embiid in time. Here's that Plumlee guy again in drop coverage. You got to be able to guard the ball. So you're going to have your feet set. That means with James Harden, I would probably want to step up so I can stunt at the ball with my feet set and be able to recover to Joel Embiid. But look at Plumlee. You're already backpedaling. How are you going to get over to Joel Embiid? If you're Nick Richards, you got to battle for positioning with Joel Embiid. Look at this. Why is Nick Richards taking his hand off Embiid? Look at this right here. He just took his hand off. That means that you're going this way. Well, Joel Embiid now... I mean, Nick Richards, this player just went under the screen. Okay, now it's time to get right back up and guard Joel Embiid. That's the only way you're going to be able to defend Joel Embiid. Where you're going this way. So now Embiid is catching this ball. You are not even close to ready to guard him. He's hard enough to guard when you are ready to guard him. I mean, come on. Wow. Okay, what is happening? Did this player call switch? It seems like he did. Well, if he calls switch, whether you can get over this screen or not, it doesn't really matter. Because this player is coming here. It's bang, bang. You have to go with the screener. So somewhere the communication was atrocious. I mean, you've got to defend this down screen. Like Kai Jones right here has got to get up to Georges Niang. Like, look at stop. Where is he? You need to be up here. You got to get your arms out. James Harden cannot curl. You got to force him out so this player's time to get over. Like, I mean, you're just not there. So this player's all... Look at this. This handoff just happened. You're already beat. You can't guard the handoff because you're not there to guard the handoff. I don't get this. If you're Kai Jones, you're guarding Georges Niang. Like, what? So why do you just stop guarding Georges Niang? Horrible switch. Did Nick Richards call for a switch? If so, Terry Rozier needs to switch right now. You got to get underneath the screener. You're switching over the top. This is a disaster. This is totally on Kelly Oubre. Stop backpedaling. First of all, if James Harden wanted to take you one-on-one and you're playing off your back foot, you'd get destroyed. But the other thing is there's a ball screen coming that you need to be able to fight over the top of. And instead, you're just backpedaling away into getting nailed by this ball screen. So you're out of the play. I mean, you cannot be hugging Joel Embiid like this. Battle for position, sure. But when you hug Joel Embiid, he's going to use you hugging him. Look at how he just created space. So now you're off balance. He just caught this ball. You're not ready to guard him. Like, this is a disaster again. Okay, I mean, if Mason Plumlee is coming to trap, then like you have to have backside help. You're not worried about a player 2 passes away. This player can sink down and take care of that. But if Joel Embiid catches this ball, like, it's over. It's over. Hey, the same thing. This is a trap. This player has to move over if you're trapping. This player's got to get up here. You're not worried about this play. If it's a good enough trap, you shouldn't be worried about a player 2 passes away. But if it's this easy to pass out of a trap, well, now the 76ers have numbers. You're playing the gaps. You got to have your feet set. You're never going to... If your feet are not set, how are you going to recover on this pass? So this player's feet are not even close to set. You're moving your feet inward. Look at it's just rip and go now.